Folks, Johnny here for Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, jumping into a little chat about used vehicles. What kind of prices should you expect if you're shopping for a used vehicle? Well, you should definitely be seeing rebates if the vehicle was bought months ago because prices are down. And here's the chart, here's the data to prove it. Now, before we get too far into this, please like, subscribe, and share this information. Help support this small family business out. Now, here's a chart going all the way back to January 1998, all the way to January 2024, and you can see those used prices in January 2020 started to skyrocket. Let's zoom in here. You've got January 2020 right here. This is from Cox Automotive. Fantastic information. Thank you so much, Cox Automotive, for sharing this with the public. So January 2022, you had prices drop because of fears of dealers being closed for who knows how long. And then once they started rolling again, you know, the end of 2019 wasn't so bad. You've got these prices just used prices jumping up. If dealers buy them for more at auction, they should be paying you more. So make sure that you realize that. And then you've got a peak here in 23. So if you're expecting 2022, for example, a real absolute peak in 2022. If you expect to get 2022 trade prices now, your trade-in, they're not going to budge on that. They should have been paying them more. Now they should be paying them less as trade-ins and at wholesale. But if you're a shopper, so first thing to know is if you're a seller, if you're selling to a dealer, you can't walk in expecting the type of price you would have had spring 2023. Prices have significantly dropped. You see a peak here. They've significantly dropped. So don't walk in. You can expect, but they're not going to make a deal with you if you expect to get the price someone offered you on your vehicle a year ago. One, it's depreciated, and two, prices have gone way down. Part of that is you should also expect a deal. So here's an example. Here's a truck right off my website, bought, a few months ago. So the prices dropped by $3,000. And, if we look at other trucks, had almost 30 used F-150s for sale. And the prices on them, the ones bought, 6 months ago, obviously, have dropped considerably. The trucks that were bought recently, well, they're priced accordingly. So you can see right here, an Ford F-150 2021 price was dropped $4,000 on it. And that's because it was bought previously. We don't want this sitting around, and we don't want to be paying interest on it. So we bought it at old, higher prices. Now, even if we're going to be losing money on this, that's not what's important. What's important is that we get it out and we stop losing money on it. That we lose money through interest payments, and that's why we adjusted to the current market and it's lower. However, if you're looking at a vehicle that just showed up in the last few weeks, last few days, last few weeks, or last couple months at a dealer, it was bought at the new updated price. And if the dealers, pricing these according to the actual market prices, and if their price is competitive, you can't expect them to take $3,000-$4,000 off. You can expect them to take $3,000-$5,000 off, though, on a unit that's been sitting around. And of course, $5,000 off a $7,000 vehicle isn't a reasonable ask. If we look at it, these price decreases, we're $45,000 now down to essentially $41,000. That's 10%. So the market's dropped down 10% in the last few months. 10% decrease in pricing. So that's a little shopper's help if you're looking for a used vehicle. You've got a Ford F-150 2022 here, STX 2.7 liter EcoBoost. I love the 2.7 liter engine. And there you've got a $3,000 drop. So almost 10% drop in price. But the vehicles, trucks that just recently came in, that were just purchased at the correct trade-in price or the correct wholesale auction price, well, they get labeled in right away at the right price, and we can't expect to just jump in and get $3,000-$4,000 off. It's still for sale in 6 months and it's depreciated. Well, then if it's been sitting around for 6 months, do expect to get a better deal than the price it was 6 months earlier. So knowing how long a vehicle has been available at a dealer is a fantastic way to know how to get a good deal. That's data, information to use to encourage or to prove to the dealer why they should be giving you a better price. And Peugeot, thank you so much for encouraging people to smash that like button. I just read that second part. Marie would be cramped up if she was reading that right now. She used to always read your comments and then kind of give me feedback at the end of the show. She's taking care of our daughter, and she was actually finishing up supper while I came down for the show. So that is our information here. You could say our little mini episode here that we've covered. Now, time to get on to EPA slacking emissions rules. This is going to be a surprising one. I didn't expect this to happen. So let's just jump right into that here. Excuse me. Now, to just wrap up this whole talk about used vehicles and to wrap up the beginning of the show with new vehicles, a piece of data I'd wanted to share was that spring fever and tax refund season does boost used retail sales and drop the number of days supplies. So this is bringing down the number of days supplies to 44 as of the 15th of March 2024. So used vehicle inventory opened March at the lowest level since October 2023, according to the Cox Automotive analysts. I do think that we are at risk of prices sort of being the lowest that they're going to be, and that we do risk that, I'd say that right now there's more risk that prices stay the same or go up. But even if prices stay the same, used prices, our trade-ins, are continuing to go down, as we saw from the wholesale used chart right here. They're used prices, trade-ins, what dealers are paying at auction, but what dealers are also paying you for your trade has been going down since 2022. And right now, used sales are actually going very well, despite all the doom and gloom that you'll read about or watch on YouTube. This isn't an auto market collapse. The market is not, neither the new market nor the used market is completely doomed. Sales are actually going quite well because dealers have adjusted. Dealers have lowered prices for used dealers. New manufacturers have lowered prices and given better incentives on interest rates. Not brands like Toyota, though, however, because Toyota has very low inventory, whereas, Stellantis didn't even fit on this chart. That's why they're throwing out $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 rebates. They have to, and they're still stuck with them. That's what's wild. Ford was near the 125 days of inventory a few months ago, and now they're sitting around, let's see right here, Ford, 91 days of inventory. How did Ford do that? They made major cuts in interest rates, saving thousands of dollars, and they offered thousands of dollars in rebates, and it made the metal move. Now, I think for the month of March, we're in a bit of an ideal sweet spot where, yes, trades have gone down a little, but with all these incentives in regards to rebates and interest rates, now's the time to buy, because if inventory gets more towards the 75, 70 days of inventory, well, then manufacturers and dealers are going to be slacking off all those rebates and better interest rates being offered, which saves us thousands and thousands of dollars if they're going to slack off of it. So I'm telling you folks, now is a good time to go shop your vehicle. So let's talk about this next story here. EPA slacking emissions rules. Who would have thought? I'm not going to complain about this one, though.